All right.
Oh, bring him out in front of the desk, Rich.
Missy said. Good sit, Missy. Good sit. Good sit, Miss.
Okay?
What's that?
See how that works? Now, you notice I told her to sit once. I'm not repeating my command. One and done.
So say like, because she has a harder time getting her to go in her pen than I do.
Right?
So you should just say, Missy, come, and she should go. And if she hesitates, stop. Do you do the refocus, or you just do the quick jerk and then get her to go?
Well, if she hesitates behind you, you give her a friction and go forward.
Okay.
Okay?
So I was doing that right. I wasn't sure. I'm like, I think we go forward, but I'm not sure if we need to go through the whole focus because she walked her around for half an hour before being able to get her in the pen one night.
That's a good girl.
Shouldn't have happened for half an hour.
Okay.
But you see how I'm dealing with her breaking the sit? Not sit. Okay. One command, loose leash. Okay, let her make that decision. If she's in the sit, as I instructed her, what a good girl, Miss. What a good sit, honey. That is a good girl right there. Okay? If she breaks the sit, she just gets a correction. Don't repeat your command.
Okay.
Okay? You never want to verbalize when you're correcting the dog. Okay? The correction should be associated with one thing, the behavior you're correcting. You provide the love. That's all that comes from you. Commands and love. Okay? So you see, that was a fear response. Okay? So now I have the opportunity to reassure her without reinforcing her aggressive behavior. If she was aggressive and I was saying, it's okay, she would interpret that as, oh, I like it when you're aggressive towards other dogs, okay? Whereas I do the focus exercise, and once I have her focused, I can put her in a sit, and I can be very reassuring, but I'm reinforcing the sit, not her aggressive behavior.
Right.
What a good sit. So we're alleviating her fears, okay, by just telling her what a good sit she did, what a good girl she is.
And she's relaxing a little.
Okay, say in the presence of another dog. It didn't take long. All right, now, I'm going to
She's also
go.
distant from you.
Well, that's the key.
Right.
Okay, we're going to work closer, but the key to success is distance in the beginning. You don't want to jump right in and go toe to toe with the dog, with the other dog.
No.
Okay, you want to work at a distance where you're successful, and as time goes by, we'll work a little bit closer. That's a good sit, miss.
So even though she's got a little bit of the whispering going on, she's still
That's right, that's right. As long as she's in the sit. So I keep a loose leash. I'll explain it. What I'm looking for is I want to be able to stop and draw an imaginary line at the tips of my toes. And when Hogarth stops behind that line, I have achieved focus. I'll explain all this. I just wanted to show you there. See that line at the, and you see the difference in his behavior once he stops behind that line. You see the difference? That's a good pup. That is a good pup right there.
You could put a yardstick right there.
Absolutely. That's a good boy. Yeah, that's a good boy. That's a good sit, Hogarth. Good boy, buddy. Good sit. That's a good sit. Okay, come out a little bit closer. Try a little bit of focus. Now that I have him calm down, now you got to turn. You can't just correct her. You're going to make her more aggressive if you just correct her. You have to correct and turn. Correct her. Good. Walk toward me. Good. Stop and see what she does. There you go. Now tell her what a good sit. Correct her, go the other way. Good. Come back this way. Nice loose leash. Stop. Correct her. As soon as she crosses that line at the tips of your toes, you want to correct her and change direction. Excellent. Now sit and love her. What a good sit, Missy. Peace in the valley. Oh, hey. This is the best thing you're going to do for this guy. What a good boy, yeah. You will increase his quality of life significantly when he behaves. He'll be able to go places, do things. What a good boy, yeah. And you won't need this leash and collar someday if you do it right. That's a good pup, huh? Nice dog. But you see, this is what we want to achieve. Visual focus. Redirect the attention. Now say it once.
Sit.
Nice loose leash.
Missy, sit.
Rich, loosen your leash. We're not using the leash to restrain him. We're using the leash to correct him when he makes the wrong decisions. Oh yeah, this is looking good. It's amazing.
Sit. Missy, sit.
Up. Try to get used to one, and then you have to free her from the sit. Free is your release. When you say sit, she has to sit until you say free.
Oh. So when I say free, does she go or
Yeah, that means she can get up.
Missy free?
I'll explain all this after a bit. Excellent, Rich. This is a good thing.
I did have him on a leash in the house that you talked about.
And once they know it, we go into this system of positive and negative reinforcement, correction and praise, okay? So you say sit once. If she doesn't immediately respond, she gets a correction, okay? If she does respond, she gets love. What a good sit, Missy. What a good girl you are. That's a good sit, okay? Now, next week, we're going to start this process. It's a 3-week process to give you all the components of what will be
eventually what we call the long down stay. This is the key to reaching your dog's potential. You know, focus your dog outside the house, around distractions, on walks, inside the house when you're cooking and cleaning and on the computer and eating dinner. Your dog should be in a downstay. Those are the two most subordinate things you're ever going to ask the dog to do. So in order for a dog to do a downstay for extended periods of time, the dog has to be conditioned to never break a command until you give the release command, which is FREE. Okay? So once the sit command is given, she's on a loose leash, okay? And you notice she hasn't been breaking the sit for me because she knows when she does it, all she gets out of that deal is a correction. Now, if you respond with a recommand, you're just reinforcing her breaking the sit. Any attention reinforces any behavior. You know she's an attention junkie, okay? So she wants you. So if you keep saying, no, sit, okay, that's attention, That's not, there's nothing negative. That's a positive thing to her, to recommand her, okay? So if you avoid eye contact, you avoid verbalization, and you just provide a timely correction as soon as she breaks the sit. See? I didn't have to say a word, I didn't have to look at her. Okay? Her only association with that correction was, happened when my butt parted company with the floor. Okay? So now she's being conditioned to remain in this sit until I verbally release her. Now, timing is everything. You notice I had to get her as soon as she got up. If I had waited a couple of seconds, she might not have sat right back down. Okay? Now, with the positive reinforcement, the timing's also important. Okay, you notice when I correct her and she sits back down, I don't immediately jump right in and start praising her, okay? I wait a little while because what a good sit. Missy, you are the best little puppy. You know that, don't you? You are such a good girl. Had I praised her immediately after she resat, okay? I correct her, she sits down and I immediately say, oh, now that's a good sit, Missy. She's going to say, damn, I got to get up and get corrected to get some damn attention around here. And they will do that. I've seen dogs go out of their way to get a correction if it gets attention.
That's why you wait.
That's why we wait 10 seconds. So her only association with the attention, the love, the positive reinforcement is this, what she's doing right now. She's in the sit. Okay, you give a command once. If I respond immediately, I get love. If I break that command before you verbally release me, I get a correction. Okay? My only association with the love, with the attention, is when I'm doing what you told me to do. You see how that works? And this is how you facilitate this decision-making process that allows you to get rid of all this hardware someday, because you're giving her the experiences that she's going to base her decisions on for the rest of her life. Okay? You do this consistently, but that's why you have to have the leash and collar on them all the time. If you do this consistently over a period of time, then you're going to take this leash and collar off, and the dog's going to make these decisions for the rest of their life. This stuff is bulletproof. That's why it's important to have the ability to correct negative behavior in a natural way that they completely understand. Okay? They completely understand that when they feel that mouth grasping their neck, that what they're doing is not what they should be doing. We're communicating in a language that they can truly understand now. Okay? You see how she's making the right decision, and you see how everything's nice and peaceful now? Beautiful thing. Okay, so the focus exercise. I just wanted to do it before I talked about it, just so I could talk. It would have been a hard time. I would have had a hard time communicating if they were both going crazy. So here's what that's all about, okay? What we did was we made an association that correction happened because you went the other way, I went the other way, okay? That's why every time I corrected, I turned around. okay? So Hogarth made the association that, every time I'm not paying attention to this guy, he tends to head in the opposite direction, and that causes the correction. And after a few corrections, he figured out that the way to avoid the correction was to pay attention, because if he can turn with me, then he doesn't get the correction. And he figured that out, okay? So after a few turnarounds, he said, the heck with that dog over there. I'm going to pay attention to this guy so I can avoid that correction, okay? And that's what that was about. That's what that whole thing was about. And after a while, he started blowing her off and paid attention to me. Then I had the ability to put him in a sit because I had his attention. See, this focus exercise, we're going to talk about this, okay? This not only will motivate the dog to focus on and follow you, walk nicely on a leash, on a nice loose leash, okay? But it's the link that's going to get your dog to respond to commands in distractive situations. Like when company walks through the door, okay? When company comes through the door, you get sit. Forget about it. The dog's off the wall, okay? You do that focus exercise, and once the dog is focused on you and the command is given, you get a response. Okay, so here's how I'd like you to approach this. You're being a good girl, Missy. That's a good sit. That is a good sit, Missy. You're being such a good puppy. Yeah, he's still there. He's still over there.
I find that interesting. She just showed up, but she's not being as reactive as she was.
Not at all. Not at all. And I mean, we just started this, so we just scratched the surface. Done consistently over time, when she sees another dog, her first reaction is going to be, the heck with the other dog, I'm watching you. What are you going to do? When people come in the door, having a dog that's not going to protect you when it's inappropriate, okay? Because the dog, once they're conditioned to pay attention to you, when company comes through the door, they start basing their decision as to when to protect you on how you feel about the situation, rather than the dog saying, stand back, I don't know this guy, I'll protect you. Okay? All right, so back to this focus. So here's how I'd like you to approach this week, is you do your focus exercise for 10-minute sessions, okay? This is lesson 1 on the back of the handout. Lesson 1 is actually the second lesson because it's the first lesson with the dog. In any event, so you do this little exercise for no more than 10 minutes per session, okay? As many sessions as you would like per day, okay? For the first week, I like to do it without the distractions, okay? You're going to see in doing this with 2 dogs here, okay, which obviously we needed to really show you how to deal with the distractions, but the key is going to be when we first do things here with the dogs present, okay, they might not do that well, but that's okay. Don't get frustrated. Like next week when we start the sit exercise, okay? If these guys don't do well with the sit here next week, don't worry about it. As long as you do it. When you go home, as long as I see you have the exercise down pat, we're good to go. Because then you practice that exercise in a very non-distractive environment for a week. Lay a good foundation, okay? And then when you come back here the next week, it's going to work well in the presence of the other dog, okay? So this week, I'd like to see you suspend your walks around the neighborhood with Hogarth, okay? Just do this focus exercise. Now, this is like shock therapy. This is very powerful what you're going to do. For the first week, when you do your focus exercise, during this 10-minute period of time, you don't look at Hogarth and you don't talk to Hogarth for the whole 10 minutes, okay? I'm going to talk a lot. You're going to be sick about hearing about body language, okay? I'm big on body language because that's their first line of communication, okay? And how we posture ourselves. And you will see this in the next few weeks, how our body language affects them, okay? So the body language that you're going to exhibit in this focus exercise is that of the leader of the pack. When the leader of the wolf pack leads the pack, he's not checking to see if everybody's with him, okay? He's looking for prey, he's looking where he's going, and it's the pack's responsibility to focus on and follow the leader. So this is the body language you're going to exhibit in this exercise this week. 10 minutes, don't look at them, don't talk to them, just walk around in all crazy directions for this 10-minute period of time, okay? Now, the more times you change direction, the more times that the dog makes a decision to follow you on a loose leash, the more information you're programming in during this 10-minute period of time. Every time you turn and Hogarth makes a decision to follow you, that's information. Leader, follower. Oh yeah, everything's on it. Yes, absolutely. On a loose leash, okay? But because he's on a loose leash, he's making a decision. Granted, the decision is based on the fact that he doesn't want to get corrected. But it doesn't matter why he's making the decision. The fact that he is making the decision is shaping this perception that you are the leader. If I'm making a decision to follow you around, then you must be a leader. You're talking a language that the dog completely understands now, okay? If you want to convince your dog you're a leader, then get the dog to follow you. You know what, we got to fix her collar too. We'll take care of that after. So it's 10 minutes of turn. Now, once he's making a decision, we'll go over this again, okay? It'll be a little less distractive when we do it again this time. Well, we'll do it singly. I'll work each dog, you'll work each dog singly. Now, there's another decision that the dog can make, will make, that helps to shape this perception that you're the leader, okay? Once a dog is following you, okay, pretty consistently, you turn, he follows, you turn, he follows. You occasionally take a few steps in a straight line and stop, okay? I don't know if you noticed, but when I finally achieved focus, when I approached Missy and I achieved focus, I drew an imaginary line at the tips of my toes. And Hogarth made a decision on a loose leash not to cross that line. It's his toes in relation to my toes. I don't know if you noticed, Ben said you could put a yardstick down, and he came right up to that line. I've seen this for 40 years. That is the line that they perceive that separates leader from follower. So every time you stop and the dog makes a decision not to cross that line, that's another decision that shapes this perception that you are indeed the leader, okay? So it's 10 minutes of turn, stop, turn, stop, turn, okay? And every time I follow, when you turn, every time I respect that boundary, when you stop, that's information, leader, follower.
I do that, even just that our little bitty living room, I'll go.
Absolutely. You want to do this in the house, you want to do it in the house, you want to do it in the backyard this week. Then next week we're going to talk about taking them for walks again and applying this to walks. But this is the week of socialization in a non-distractive environment. Lay that good foundation, okay? And then next week we'll take them out into the real world. Okay? You being a good girl, Missy. Okay, so see how Missy's collar is twisted? Okay.
It should be on, that should be on the top.
Let me.
I can take that out, and I think it's too tight, but.
No, that's good. You're a good girl, you know that? Okay, so the key to not getting that chain twisted is to never take the end links off. Because had you taken that off any place but the end, you would have noticed that half of them were going the wrong way. Okay? So, if you always take it apart, any links but the end ones, you won't get messed up, okay? So now, if I took it apart in the middle and they're like this, I'm gonna say, oh, okay, that's not right, that's twisted. See, and I probably had to correct her way harder than I needed to in that focus exercise because this was not working properly. Okay? Come here, mister. Come here, baby. Yeah, see, it's only too tight if you really had to force it on, then it's too tight. That went on pretty, and I put it on over the leash too, and that went on pretty easily. Okay, so that's working.
Where's the placement, the proper placement on the neck?
As high on the neck as possible. If it's a really hard dog, if it's a really tough dog, you want to have it so it stays high on the neck. It shouldn't get down. But I mean, she's a relatively soft dog, so you don't need it to have it that tight in order for it to work. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit more focus with her, and I'll talk about it. So watch when I do this, how I keep a loose leash, okay? These are the key things. I keep a loose leash, okay? I'm not concerned with which side the dog is on at this point, right or left, doesn't matter. But whatever side the dog is on, I turn the opposite way. So if the dog's on my left, I turn to my right. If the dog's on my right, I turn to my left, okay? Then when I stop, in order to give the dog a chance to orient herself, like I don't want to stop mid-turn. I always want to take a few steps in a straight line to give the dog an opportunity to orient herself to me before I stop, to give her that opportunity to judge that line that separates leader from follower. So watch how I do this with a loose leash. Free Missy. So I keep a nice loose leash. Turn, and she follows. So every time I turn, and Missy follows me on a loose leash, that's information. I'm the leader, Missy's the follower. Now watch that line at the tips of my toes when I stop. Too far, which I didn't prevent her from crossing that line. I let her go and then I corrected her. So now she gets another opportunity. See? How that time, and when she made that decision not to cross that line, she also sat. Okay? So nice loose leash. Now I don't have to free her because I didn't tell her to sit. You only free her if you give her the command. If they sit automatically, you can just turn around and walk away. So it's just 10 minutes, stand up straight, look like a leader, turn often. See, I knew she wasn't paying attention because I felt that leash get tight behind me. Okay? So put your awareness in the leash. You don't have to see the dog. If you feel no tension in the leash, everything is good. Okay? Well, much better. Much better. All right, let me work with Hogarth one more time. Then I'll have you guys do it each individually, and then we'll have you both do it together, walking around each other. Hey, buddy. How you doing? How you doing, wild man? He's a good dog. He's a nice dog. So if I turn and he follows, there's no correction. If he gets ahead of me, then I correct him. Watch. See? Yeah. Yeah. Hogarth, sit. Good sit, young fella. What a good boy. Oh, you are a good puppy. You are such a good boy. You are such a good puppy. He's a nice dog. Hogarth's free. Not too shabby. All right, have him sit. All right, you want to try a little bit with the miss? Now turn, when you turn, give her that opportunity. Don't just correct her every time you turn. Just feel that leash. If it's loose, now turn without correcting her. See what happens. Yeah, see? See? Good. Now turn again. Beautiful. Now, take a few steps in a straight line. Walk toward us. And stop. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, one time, tell her to sit. Look at that. That's what I like. Ah, correct her. Because she broke the sit before you freed her. Now love her. Good sit, Missy. Good. Free her. Good. Outstanding. Oh, good, good, good. Now, loose leash. Relax your arm. Relax your arm. Good. Turn. Good. That's it. Turn again. You gotta give the correction with the turnaround. Now. Good. Correct and turn. Correct them across your body, not up. Yeah, correct them in the direction you're going to turn. Correction, turn, turn. No, not if you don't tell them to sit. Now correct them and go the other way. So you want to not correct up and then correct in the direction, go across your body with the correction. There you go. That was good. That was beautiful. Good, good. All right. You want to do a little Renee? Well, and both of you get out there and just do a little bit together now? Yeah, you do it too, Rich. So you guys just kind of walk around out here with both dogs now and see how it goes. Don't get too close, but just kind of, walk around. Oh, yeah. A little bit better than an hour ago. Oh, yeah. Look at her. Correct, turn. Good, good, Renee. No, you gotta turn. You can't just correct, you have to correct and turn. You're gonna need to lose a couple of links out of that collar too. Yeah, that's way too loose. What's gonna happen is you're gonna take them for a walk out on the street, and you're gonna have a leash, a collar, and no dog. That's not good. All right, very good. Very good. That went well.
Sit. Missy, sit.
Ah, that was 2. Now pull up, push your butt down, but don't say it again. There you go. There you go. Okay? So try to get in that, out of that multi-command habit. One and done. All right, so this week, you want to work on your focus in a nice non-distractive environment, 10-minute sessions, as many as you want to do per day, with minimal distractions, and work on establishing this working relationship with the dog using that simple sit command, and start this conditioning process where it ain't over until we tell them they're free. Okay? So you do that, and we're on the road. But, use your safe area. Don't deal with the dog without that leash and collar for a second, and we're good to go. So one thing you want to get to is, I think I might have talked about it a little bit, is a 30-foot long line. And we'll talk about the use of that next week, your 30-foot long line.
That was miracles of that.
Yes. Oh, that makes a big difference. You were a good girl. Oh, they both did very well.
Now at this point, can you say, I've already used at this point, or do you wait for that?
I wouldn't release her until it's time to go. So if you're sitting here having a conversation, okay, so think about this. Say to yourself, in every situation, okay, whenever you're with Missy, ask yourself one question. How would I like to see her behave when she's not on a leash someday? Okay? So do you want her wandering around? Or do you want her just hanging by you? Okay? So that's what we're doing. With this loose leash, we're instilling the behavior that's going to affect them for the rest of their life. This is how she's going to behave for the rest of her life. So you say, okay, if I'm sitting here having a conversation with someone, do I want Missy just taking off, doing what she wants to do? Or I want her sitting at my side while I have this conversation, okay? That's what training is all about. Just teaching your dog to sit, any fool can do that. It's not going to help if you don't then take that sit and say, okay, I'm going to use this sit to show Missy how I want her to behave in this particular situation. And that's the mindset that you want to be in. Every time you're with your dog, you got to say, how do I want her to behave in this situation? And, depending on how many tools you have to work with, okay, right now, if they only know sit, then just have them sit in that situation. Eventually, we want to have the ability to put them in a down stay. That's the holy grail. And that's what we're going to start that process. We're going to spend next week, the week after that, the week after that, on all the components of this long down stay. All right? Good job. Everybody did good tonight. Any questions?
No, I'm just amazed at what a difference from when they first got in the room together to...
I told you that last week, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah. It's just knowing what to do.
Because she was pretty anxious about it, that's why she had me burn.
Yeah.
Because she goes, you seem to have a little more control over her. It's not that I have control over her, she's, for whatever reason.
Yeah, it's just the way it is, it's always like that. Yes, that makes them nervous, absolutely. Absolutely.
I know that she feels sorry for her sometimes
With the correction, but it's like, exactly, oh, absolutely. You know, you got to say, okay, do I want a nervous, anxious dog, or do I want a dog like this? How did we achieve this? Okay, we only achieved it by correcting her when she was behaving the way we didn't want her to behave. Okay, there's no way that you're going to sit down and explain the error of their ways to them. Okay, these guys learn through correction, positive and negative reinforcement. If they associate something negative with a behavior, they eventually show show avoidance to that behavior. Okay, so it's the only. I mean, look at that. Look at what you did for her. Okay, you might say, "Oh, gee, I hate." Nobody likes to correct their dog. Okay, but I mean, precisely, precisely. That collar is the greatest confidence builder in the world, believe it or not, if you use it properly. You know, if you're, damn it, I told you to, okay, if you're using it as punishment and you're associate, that's going to destroy their confidence level, okay? But when you disassociate yourself from the correction and all they see from you is the love, and you have that opportunity to reassure them with positive reinforcement, because you had the ability to redirect their attention and get to the point where you get her to sit, look at the difference in her. Okay? So you got to look at the big picture. You can't say, you know, nobody likes to correct their dog. But if you do it now, you're going to do it less and less and less until eventually you don't need that leash and collar anymore. And she's going to have a great life. She's going to get to do things and go places and not be a nervous wreck every time you take her out of her comfort zone. Okay? The whining has subsided. Okay? I mean, this is how you like to see your dog behave when you take them someplace. They're just going to plop down, chill out, and not be, oh, can we go home now? Can we go home now? Oh, my God, I'm sorry. Yep, they both did really
Now,
well.
with her, this is something I told her I wanted to ask you about too, is you know where her crate is in her house, the pen.
Yeah,
Now, to me, I think it causes her more anxiety to be right at the door where she sees us walk out every day.
absolutely.
Do you think it's reasonable
In the
to
bedroom.
shift it so that she can't?
I think the best place to have the crate is the bedroom.
But shut the door when we go to leave?
Doesn't matter, just don't make a big deal out of it.
Right. Because when she sees us going, that's when.
So
she
you
really
don't
starts
put her in the
walking.
crate right as you're leaving. 10 minutes before you go, and then you put your coat on and you do all that because they know all the
Well, I
signs.
started trying to change it up a little bit,
Good.
so she's not in the same routine with it.
Perfect, perfect.
Because it used to be, I put her in the crate, or take my shower, and I put her in the crate, and then I'd go.
Perfect.
So what I did is put her in the crate while I was taking my shower, I got ready.
Yeah, you
had
just-
time to sit after that.
Just switch it up. Absolutely,
And then had her out
absolutely.
again, and then brought her back in when I had. her
Absolutely.
leave. But now you're
Yeah.
saying we should give her about 10 minutes.
Well, whatever. I mean, you know,
Or a
just
little bit of time.
change it up. Yeah, absolutely.
But you don't think changing the position of where the crate is to the door,
I think the bedroom is the best place for the crate.
right?
Number one, they're not stimulated by people walking in and out of the house, okay? They're out of the picture. Number two, the bedroom is most inundated with your scent, okay? And that has a very calming effect on the dog. It's like, you know,
We have to get a much smaller crate for our bedroom.
well, whatever. I mean, you know, but, you know, that's just the best scenario if you can't do it.
Do you think she would be ready for a smaller crate at this point?
Smaller,
Yes.
as long as she can stand up and turn around in it.
Yeah, well, because that thing's huge. And the only reason that we have that is we told you because they said she tore through the other one, but I think, again, it had a lot more to do with her surroundings at the time.
Yeah, right. But, you know, I would get, like, you could get away with a large crate with this dog. I would go with the airline tag crate, the plastic ones.
Plastic as opposed to metal.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. They can't break out of them as easily, and they provide more of a den-type atmosphere. It's a much more calming effect on the dog than,
Where can you get that at?
you can get it at Tractor Supply, probably the cheapest place, you know.
Okay. And where is that?
You know where Walmart is on Bridge Street? Pretty much across the street.
Okay.
It's connected to Aldi, the same road,
Oh, really?
Okay.
almost same side of it.
Yeah, Beacon Bank or whatever is right next door.
Train station used to be up in that area?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, because
You're young.
for that to be up in our bedroom, we can't fit the big crate in our bedroom. We don't have that big of a bedroom.
That's
That-
fine.
Which is why we carry them down.
That's fine, yeah. I mean,
If it's
when I have a puppy, I have crates all over the damn house. If I'm gonna go to the bathroom for 2 minutes, that dog goes in the crate. That's how consistent I am. But it pays off. Pays off in their freedom for the rest of their life.